I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Well, welcome back, horror fans, to our Everything Horror podcast. This is Tessa Baker, joined by my co-host, Paul Dulski, and our special guest, Lamont Derrickson. Our podcast topic of discussion today is child's play. Lamont, why don't you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Okay, well, first off, my name is Lamont Derrickson.
And you want to tell us about your stream and where people can follow you?
Yes, my Twitch is Lightspeedsonic, and my YouTube is also Lightspeedsonic.
Now, Lamont, how did you get into horror? Like, what are some of your favorite horror films and games? Like, what really got you into horror?
Oh, man. When I was young, my grandmother, she just was a big fan of, like, all of this stuff. And she introduced me to Child's Play, which was the first horror movie that I can recall seeing when I was able to comprehend. And ever since then, I just fell in love with, like, the entire horror genre. And she showed me things like Hellraiser, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, all that good stuff.
Oh, that's great. Well, it's great to have a fellow lover of horror along with us on our podcast tonight.
Indeed.
Anything you would like to add, Paul?
Lamont, do you even remember what game on PlayStation we even, like, met through? Was it even a game, or was it through another streamer?
It was definitely through another streamer.
Which was Bree, right? Bree 43K, right?
Yep,
so that's right, Bree. See? Another shout out to you. Look at you. All famous and everything now. No, yeah. It was Bree streaming Outlast, I believe, right? Because you were also streaming it. Which you loved Outlast, didn't you?
Oh, love Outlast. I've just actually completed it again about 3 days ago.
What about the DLC? Whistleblower.
Yeah, I like that too. That was really good.
Have you gotten Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No.
I said the part that creeped me out the most about Whistleblower was the groomsman.
Yeah, Eddie.
Yeah, oh my god, he was horrible.
Now, Lamont, have you gotten a chance to try out the Outlast 2 demo? Did you get a chance to try it?
Yes, I have.
What'd you think of it?
Yes, I have. Scared the shit out of me.
What was the thing that scared you the most about it?
The cornfield chase.
Yeah, where they had the lights on you and they were trying to find you in the corn. Did it kind of bring you back to, like, Children of the Corn?
Yeah,
another great film.
Another great
one.
Serious, that was sweet.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I thought the demo was really great for that. I think one of the, like, creepier parts for me was between the, like, tongue monster.
Yeah, I don't
as
even
we
know.
call it. We don't know what the name of it is yet, but we just call it the tongue monster. You first encounter it in the well, and then it shows up in the school, and...
Yeah. Speaking of which, Ramon, how did you like that scene?
Yeah.
When you get dragged down into the well, and then you're in the school with, like, nothing but your goddamn camera. How did you like that?
It was interesting because it reminds me, I don't know if you've ever played it, but Fear 2.
Yeah.
Came out
oh my god.
PS3.
Amazing.
Yeah, how about that music box part in the locker when that thing comes after you in the hallway and Outlast?
That would definitely be 4, I think. You had to, like, trigger the music box, I think, and then it came after you. But yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was really interesting how they did that. Because cause you remember when you were, I think, streaming, or the first time without us recording it?
Yeah.
Remember I was just, like, had the camcorder up, and I'm just, like, looking down the fucking hallways, and then next thing I know, I see this, like, shadow thing go by, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then, boom!
It shows up right in your face.
Right in my face, and then I don't even know what happened. Is he, like, pushed me down? I don't even know.
Knocked you over.
I don't even know, but yeah, that was awesome how they did that. That's probably one of my favorites, besides this weird-ass tongue monster.
And then you got the weird, like, I want to say, like, witch-looking creature thing with the, like, I want to say, like, a scythe or whatever to the crotch. It's like, ooh, that hurt.
Yeah. I can only imagine what the full game's going to bring us. What do you think, Lamont? Do you have any, like, doubts about it, or what do you think?
Yeah, what's your input on that?
I'm hoping that, like, if they do another Chris Walker type enemy that just randomly shows up to chase you around, this one is, like, a little more ruthless.
No, what I was just thinking about the demo, we might actually get somebody similar, even though it won't be as big fuck fatty as I call him with Chris Walker. But anyway, definitely need to weigh off the Taco Bell and Burger King and Wendy's. But anyway, to my point is, you remember that guy, Lamont, in the demo? The one that, like, you go into the room and he's just standing right there, and then he comes, like, running after you and then pushes you down the stairs or through the hall, whatever. It's been a while. You remember that guy? The one that actually starts chasing you?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
him. I wonder if he's going to be, like, the quote-unquote main guy. But I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
Alrighty. Yeah. Back to the topic at hand. Child's Play. Now, some of the favorite scenes that really stood out to us were obviously one of the ones was Chucky's first kill in the movie was Maggie, and how he took a hammer to her forehead and she went flying out the window and landed on top of the truck. When I first seen that when I was little, I pretty much had the holy shit face.
And how old were you then? Like, when you were seeing this?
I think I was about 7 or 8 when I seen this.
So at 7 and 8, or 7 or 8, you had the holy shit face.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Let's go. Let's do this. Lamont, when was the first time you actually saw this? I know you kind of explained it, but do you remember exactly when, like, what year it was, maybe, or how old you were?
I was around 6 when I watched it.
So far, we were all pretty young when we had our first encounter with watching Dear Chucky.
Yeah, I want to say it was about 95, 96 when I first saw fucking Chucky on screen.
He definitely is my favorite doll.
Well, I know this is off topic, but I'm just going to throw it in here since we're talking about dolls. Dead Silence is another favorite of mine.
Oh, yes. Definitely love Mary Shaw and her marionette, her dummies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her dummies are, dummies.
Yeah, especially Billy.
But you better not scream out no tongue.
But anyways, all right, back to Child's Play. Hey, Lamont, what were some of your favorite scenes from the first Child's Play?
Oh, okay. Off the bat, when he took out Eddie, when the entire abandoned house just exploded.
That is one of my favorites. Oh, yeah,
the Eddie Caputo scene where Chucky went and took out Eddie with the oven with
the oven gas. Yep.
Yeah.
To
The
make him shoot
explosion,
it.
make him shoot it and cause the explosion. Yeah, that was a very good scene.
And I liked how, what's the little boy's name again? Andy?
Andy
I liked how
Barkley.
Andy went to go take a piss, and he sets him on the chair.
And he says,
and
well,
it's
I'll
just
be
like,
right
oh.
back, Chucky. Don't go anywhere.
But we already know that he's already bloodlust for this guy already. So you think he's really going to stay in that chair? Hell to the no. I mean, this guy was already fucked to begin with. But, I mean, you know, let's just make it worse by just having a kid bring him to you.
Yeah, well, when Chucky has an itch that needs scratching, he's gonna scratch
get it.
Yeah,
He's gonna go for it.
But yeah, I definitely do like the scene just because I like how, like, at first when Eddie first hears the noise and he starts shooting right away, it's just like, really? You just heard a little noise and you're gonna just start shooting randomly? Okay. I'm even surprised the kid didn't make him shoot, to be honest. Like, I mean, he heard the kid calling for Chucky, and he just, like, turned around, and I was expecting him to start, you know, firing shot at the kid. It's not, like, at the window or wall or whatever. And then, you know, you got Chucky with his little laugh, and then, and then you see the freaking part with the oven door. Actually, no. This is before I remember. It's right
before Eddie Caputo walks into the kitchen.
No, but the door was already open beforehand,
Chucky.
right?
Yeah, Chucky went in when Eddie got up and started looking around, and Chucky was already in the kitchen prepping the oven, turning on the gas, opening it up, getting it all ready.
Yep.
Setting the booby trap for Eddie.
Because he already knew he was going to shoot it.
And then lures him in by laughing.
Yep.
Yeah. Great scene.
Anything else, Lamont, about that scene before we move on? Did you want to add?
No, you guys basically covered all the great parts.
All right.
Yeah, basically we got flying debris and rubble going everywhere. It's great. Great stuff.
Yeah, but it kind of makes me wonder how far away the kid actually was when that explosion went.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the kid was back over across the street when that happened, looking for Chucky back over there.
Yeah, because the last thing you knew, he was around the building.
Around the building, yeah.
But anyway, let's move on.
All right, another scene that I thought was particularly kind of comical, and I was kind of pulling the, like, this is so stupid. Like, why is this person even doing
the driving
this?
Scene?
No, this is the no batteries part. This is the part where Karen Barkley is home with Chucky after Andy's taken in for observation by the therapist. And Karen's home with Chucky, and she's trying to get him to talk to her, and he's doing the little hi, I'm Chucky, want to play? And
I like to be hugged.
And she goes and inspects the box that Chucky comes in. Turns it upside down, batteries fall out. This is the ultimate holy shit moment for Karen. And what does she do? She proceeds to go over to Chucky anyways, pick him up in her arms and look to see if he's got batteries in him. Lo and behold, no batteries.
But yet he's fully operational.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's fully operational, talking and walking.
And still, she's stupid enough to be holding him, knowing that there's no batteries in him. And I'm just kind of like, why would you do that? What were your thoughts about this scene, Lamont?
My first time seeing it, and even seeing it now, it's like kind of like disbelief. And then you think like, well, I can't really tell people that this is what I see or this is what's going on, because then they'll think I'm crazy.
Yeah. And that's another thing that we're going to cover. You know, parents and older adults and people in general not believing Andy even when Andy was telling the truth about Chucky. That Chucky was alive and real. Yeah, nobody believed him. I'm sorry, but if it were Paul and I, and if our kid came up to us and said, Mommy, Daddy, this dolly's alive and trying to kill me, and he's going around killing this person and this person, we'd say, okay, let's get rid of the doll. You know, we wouldn't, discourage our child and be like, no, that's
you're
wrong.
lying. You're
lying. You need help. Blah blah blah. No, I'm sorry, but I would believe it if it were, our kid or any kid.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Kids can see shit that we can't, technically.
So that was, like, kind of one of the things that we were just, like, discussing last night when we were watching it. That parents or adults don't listen.
Anything else to add about that? Lamont, you have anything to say about that? Or, like, have you ever experienced something like this? Where, like, a kid, like, have you seen a kid, like, I don't know, say something that could be true, and then you see the parent in disbelief, just stop making it up. Go back to sleep. Like, have you had any type of interesting experience, or what did you think about the part of, like, or not part, but,
the disbelief
disbelief of parents in general? Like, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I've personally never experienced anything like that or seen anything like that.
How would you react in a situation like that if, like, say your kid or whatever came up to you and said something like that? What would be your response?
After watching this movie or any movie that has stuff like that, I'm automatically believing my child or the child or whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, okay, that's it. We're gonna get rid of the doll. I believe you.
Yeah, I believe the aunt should have taken a sign when the TV came back on and then Chucky's sitting there watching it.
Exactly.
Okay, another favorite another favorite scene is the fireplace scene with Karen Barkley and with Chucky when she's trying to get Chucky to talk to her. And she's threatening to light him on fire and torch him in the fireplace. And he finally shows his true face. And here comes one of Paul's favorite lines of the whole movie. You stupid fucking bitch, filthy slut. And you see him just come to life and be angry and attack her and bite her arm and everything. I just thought that scene was kind of brutal, and that's kind of like another holy shit moment when you actually see him
and then
being pissed off.
And then it goes back into what we just talked about, the part when Karen went to the cop and goes, Chucky bit me! And what did the cop say? Go back to fucking bed.
Yeah, he's pretty much, he's very disbelieving of her, does not believe her. And even when she's saying, oh, Andy was right, the doll is alive. Chucky is alive. And then he's not believing her. And then that's where the part comes in where she goes, didn't Charles Lee Ray say that he was going to go after Eddie Caputo and you? And now Eddie Caputo is dead, so you're next. And what does he say? Oh, I'm just going to go home. And then you end up with Chucky in the back seat of the car trying to strangle him with, what the hell was that? Like, was that like jumper cables or some shit? He's trying to strangle him with something. It looked like a fucking jump rope or some shit.
It's some type of rope, I'm just going to say, because I don't really know what it was, to be honest. I mean, it could be jumper cables, it could have been some type of rope. I mean,
well, anything like that, but he was trying to strangle him. That was definitely obvious. And how does Detective Norris get himself out of this one? He goes for the car cigarette lighter and burns Chucky on the face. This is where Chucky discovers, oh, I can be hurt. Thinking that he's like all immortal and shit and he can't be hurt.
Yeah.
So then
perfect reaction to that.
Yes. And what did you think of when Chucky started trying to stab Detective Norris through the seat of the car while Detective Norris was trying to drive?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I thought it was a little hilarious, especially the way he was hiking himself up
and
onto
moving
the
around.
dashboard.
Yeah.
And when he tried to stop the car, and then Chucky put his hand back on the gas, and then he's just stomping on his hand, trying to get him off.
Yeah.
It was just
I don't
so
think that's
good.
going to work to begin with, because I know Chucky can kind of feel stuff, but I don't think plastic is going to, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's going to really feel it. But I don't know then, but because, you know, near the end of that scene, you see the car flipped over, Chucky running around acting all crazy because the detective guy is shooting off his gun at Chucky. Well, that's another way of Chucky knowing, like, hey, I'm fucking bleeding. And he's like, this can't be right. And then, let's see, what was it?
When Chucky discovers that he can be hurt and that he's not immortal, he goes to see John, the voodoo guy, who he's idolized, who's been his mentor when he was alive, who taught him everything that he knew. He goes to John and he's like, okay, dude, why the fuck is this happening to me? Why am I able to be hurt? Why am I bleeding? And I'm a doll. And John turns around and tells him, oh, you're becoming more human the more time you spend in that body. And Chucky's going, I'm the fuck what? Like, what the fuck? I'm turning human? This is going to be my body? I'm going to be stuck here? And, you know, John's like, yeah, unless you find another body, you're going to be stuck as a doll. And that's ultimately when Chucky gets really pissed off and decides to turn against him and use voodoo.
Yeah, I was going to say, Lamont, what did Chucky use against him, the voodoo guy? What did he use against him?
A knife.
Besides the knife, though, what was with the knife? There was one more thing.
How did I forget that this fast?
The voodoo doll.
Yeah, he uses the voodoo doll against him, you know, like, shaped after him. Starts breaking his legs, start breaking his arms, starts doing all this stuff to him, and you just...
He finally gave in to telling him how to get out of the
body.
doll.
You have to use the body of the first person you told your secret to, who you really are. And he's like, oh, great. He's like, I'm going to be a 6-year-old boy again.
A 6-year-old boy?
You know, so he's all like tickled pink and then stabs the voodoo doll of poor John. And there you go. John's bleeding out on the floor.
Wait, before we go into the next scene, this would be a perfect topic here since we've all seen it very young. So what was everybody's reaction as they're young? So, like, Lamont, like, when you were, like, 6, you said, when you first saw this film, like, how did you react to that? Like, some guy telling this doll, who was a guy at the time, like, saying that, oh, yeah, all they have to do is just take your body over. Like, did you have any, like, reaction to that when you were 6-year-old? 6 years?
Yeah, because being that young, you know, you're not able to comprehend whether stuff like that you see on TV is real or not, because, you know, you don't know about editing and false cameras and stuff.
Real,
so
yeah.
So I'm just thinking, like, all this could be true.
So, just a quick question. Did you really think, like, dolls now would come to life and try to take over your body? Like, did you ever think that when you were younger? Like, oh shit, like, this doll is going to come to life and take over my body.
Oh yeah, I had a brief moment where I was scared about stuff like that.
I definitely tell you this much. Ever since I saw that movie when I was young, I definitely looked at dolls differently. I definitely was like, okay, are you going to come to life and start talking to me, you know? Because, you know...
Oh, absolutely.
Because at that age, like you said, like, you don't know what's real, you know, what's fake. You know, everything's pretty impressionable at that age. Another thing that this is kind of before the scene where Detective Norris gets attacked by Chucky in the car. When Detective Norris and Karen Barkley went to get information from the peddler that Karen had gotten the doll from originally in the first place. And he's like, oh, I got it from this old, like, burnt down lot where this toy store used to be, such and such. And the detective turns around and you could see it on his face. He's like, holy shit, that's where I gunned down Charles Lee Ray. And then he's like, no, I can't be. You know, you can see that, oh,
yeah, he
shit.
got that look of like,
Oh,
is he really alive? And then that's when he go to, I believe, the police station to get his file.
Yeah.
I think that's where he was.
That's what happened, and then that's
the
where it
car
ties
scene.
in where the car scene comes in with Chucky attacking him. So that was just another thing that I noticed because I was just watching the detective's face when they were talking about it.
Oh, speaking of the car scene, I'm just gonna say this real quick, and I don't know if you guys would agree with me, but during that time when Chucky trying to stab him in the ass and all that shit, but wouldn't it have made sense for the guy to just, like, open up the car door and duck and roll out of the car? Like, you know, that way he doesn't have to deal with the fucking maniac toy, and that way he didn't have to flip over the car. I mean, he could have died, to be honest, but I really think, like, he could have... I mean, he should have been trained for that, I would think.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways he probably could have gotten out of that situation. Like you said, opening the car door and ducking and rolling out of the car and just letting the fucking car take off with Chucky in it. Yeah, I could see that happening. But they were trying to make it for, like, a suspenseful scene.
To make you think that this guy's gonna die.
Yeah, to make you think, oh, there's a possibility of a chance that Detective Norris is gonna die. You know, so we're just going to play with the audience. What are your thoughts, Lamont, about that?
I like to look at stuff like that in any movie, basically, as 9 times out of 10, in certain situations in films, logic does not apply.
Yeah, because your adrenaline takes over, and then that's it. You're just pretty much going off of pure adrenaline. Like, you're not even really thinking about, oh, I should do this, or I should do that. You're just pretty much just trying to survive as best you can.
Well, yeah, I mean, Chucky did have a, what was that, a kitchen knife.
Yeah, he had a butcher kitchen knife.
Yeah. He just had a big-ass fucking knife. We'll just put it that way. Alright, next, on with Lamont. Hang on. I know what we can do. Lamont, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you may have wanted to talk about?
That stands out?
Yeah, that stands out. Anything that caught your eye?
Maybe the most important thing of my notes is his ascension into the doll's body. The very first time he's done it.
Oh, yes, with the chant, the Ade Due Dembela.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely a very crucial, I want to say, moment to the movie where you see how Charles Lee Ray was born into Chucky. And I thought that was really cool how they used lightning and brought on, like, the storm clouds and had him all dramatic and shit. And I thought it was great.
I agree.
And, you know, he's, like, going around the store bleeding out while, after Detective Norris shoots him. And he's like, gotta find a body. And all along, he's walking along this big row of good guy dolls. And then he falls down, and then there's one staring him in the face, and then he's like, oh, I'll just do that. And you see him, like, briefly smile for, like, a second or two, and then, like, Lamont
because
says,
he finally realizes that he's going to get his revenge either way.
Yeah, so like Lamont says, yeah, he transfers his soul into the good guy doll.
For the first time.
Yep, for the first time. While we're at this part, I kind of thought it was interesting how the most recent Chucky, The Curse of Chucky, actually had a flashback tying the first Chucky into this one, showing of how Charles Lee Ray actually got to the toy store, like where he was before that he was with Sarah.
Who was pregnant, I believe.
Yep, who was pregnant. I thought that was kind of interesting, how they did that. What did you think when they did that, Lamont?
I thought that was pretty cool, because seeing how that movie played out with, characters we've never seen or heard of before.
I did like
I
that.
thought it was pretty neat for them to, not leave us in the dark. We're like, who are these people and why is he trying to kill them? So for them to just throw that in there, like, so this is what happened before the events of the first movie was a nice addition.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely like how they did that, and because that definitely helped explain the Curse of Chucky so much better.
Which I remember, I don't even think it even hit theaters, and if it did, I completely missed out on theaters. But I just remember one day going to, like, Kmart, I believe, or Walmart, wherever I was, and I just saw Curse of Chucky right there as a new release, and I'm just like, what? You gotta be kidding me. And I mean, it was only $10 at the time, so I said, I'm gonna grab this. Watched it that night, and I'm just like, this is amazing. Like, the storyline, I believe, of Curse of Chucky, and Lamont, I'd like to hear your opinion on this, but I think Curse of Chucky could have been maybe a little bit better. I just feel like it was missing something.
Absolutely.
But yeah, what are your thoughts on Curse of Chucky, since we're talking about Chucky? What did you think of Curse of Chucky?
Yeah, our overall discussion is about Chucky tonight, ultimately. All the movies, whatever we want to talk about them. So go on ahead, Lamont. Let's
The
hear
mic is all yours, Lamont. Spit it out.
What you think.
All right, well, going to that from Seed of Chucky, and before I finish that, I'm going to say Seed of Chucky was definitely more goofy than the other movies.
Yeah, it was I definitely got more of a comedy vibe from that one.
Me too.
I didn't really get like a horror vibe from it. I think that's the one where I thought like Chucky was like the funniest.
Now remind me, guys, was it Seed of Chucky or Bride of Chucky when you meet their kid?
Seed of Chucky.
That's
You meet
That is
Glenn and Glenda. Oh, and you gotta love that turkey baster scene where Tiffany is trying to impregnate Jennifer Tilly's character with the turkey baster.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious. I laughed my ass off at that part. I was like, are they really gonna impregnate her with a turkey baster? That's freaking hilarious.
Yep. Oh my God.
I imagine that's what it looks like when us guys are going inside of a female.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez.
That's right. You just heard it first on the podcast. That's right.
That's freaking hilarious, Lamont.
Amazing.
I actually like how they did, for Seed of Chucky, I actually like how they did Tiffany and Chucky's child, Glenn, a.k.a. Glenda. Because one can only imagine that Chucky and Tiffany's child would be incredibly fucked up in the head and would have all sorts of stuff going on. I mean, look who his parents were. I mean, geez, I wouldn't expect a kid to be, like, all right in the head with parents like that.
He was an interesting character. I mean, I remember Tiffany was like, oh, he's a good boy, blah, blah, blah.
No. It was when Tiffany and Chucky first meet him. And they're trying to determine the sex of him. Yes. They're like, oh, look at her, beautiful little girl.
No.
Don't you see? That's my handsome boy or whatever. And
he's gonna become the next thing, meaning Chucky.
And essentially, poor Glenn, a.k.a. Glenda, looks like a Ken doll. Nothing down there, so you can't tell what it is.
Or who it is.
Yeah.
It's like, look at these. It's like, what's that saying? Look at these. What's that saying,
I don't know, something like that. But Lamont, what did you think about that part when Tiffany and Chucky were going back and forth trying to figure out who Glenn or Glenda was?
It's, in a way, I guess it's more like a comedic way of when a couple is trying to figure out whether they want a boy or a girl for, when they give birth or whatever. But, Chuck and Tiffany, they're just psychotic assholes. So anything goes with them.
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny where Chucky automatically was like, it's a boy, and Tiffany goes, it's a girl. I'm sorry, but when it comes down to it and we have kids, I don't care if it's a boy or a girl as long as it's healthy. That's all I care about.
No, but what I was trying to say before is while this whole thing going on, like, afterward, you got fucking Tiffany, like, babying her, the kid, and then you got Chucky that just goes, no, he's a goddamn murderer. You're gonna go out there and kill. And he's just like, no.
You got Glenda, who's the psychotic daughter side of him. That's, daddy's little girl, essentially.
Yeah.
And then you've got Glenn, who's mommy's boy.
Yeah.
And where Chucky wanted Glenn to be daddy's boy, he gets Glenda instead, who's like the psychotic murderess or whatever. So it's kind of interesting. Oh, while we're on the seat of Chucky, what did you think about the acid scene with the paparazzi, with Glenda killing the paparazzi with the
I'm
acid?
having my thumbs up in the air while she's saying that. Amazing scene.
What did you think of that, Lamont? That was great, wasn't it?
Amazing.
One of my top 3 deaths in the movie.
Agreed. I will drink a beer to that.
I laughed my ass off at the part where Chucky is behind the wheel of the Hummer and runs the Britney Spears knockoff off the fucking road. I died laughing.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
I thought it was so great. I was like, fuck yes. And he's like, oops, I did it again. And does his little laugh. And I was like, that's fucking great.
Yep. He pretty much was making fun of the song. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was great. But yeah, going back to the acid scene, I thought it was great. He may have accidentally did it, but Chucky saw it as like, he did this on purpose. It's a purpose move. I'm so proud of you. Let's take a picture of it. And of course, Chucky's all ecstatic about the kill, and then you got Glenn staring off into space like, oh shit, what did I do? So that was a great scene. That was definitely one of my top favorite kills in Seed of Chucky. Another one I kind of liked was, what the fuck was his name? Lamont, help me out here. Was it...
Are you talking about Red Man having his intestines ripped out?
Yes, that would be the one.
God, yes.
Yes, that was great. Tiffany taking out Red Man with a kitchen knife.
That's my number 1 scene.
Yup.
With the see-through glass table so he can see her, and his guts going all over the floor. And then you got Glenn walking in and seeing his mom kneeled underneath the table with a kitchen knife going, shh, shh. And then you got poor Glenn having his, like, twitchy eyeball blinking moment, like, oh shit, no, this isn't right.
It's coming out.
So, what was it that you loved about that scene? Like, was it how Tiffany's demeanor, the amount of guts on the ground? Like, what was it? What did you love? What were the elements?
Him being there thinking his night was going to end with him getting some ass.
He thought he was going to get some booty. Some Jennifer Tilly booty. And instead he gets his guts on the floor.
Oh my God, amazing.
It was great.
So amazing. I'm so glad. Since we're talking about Chucky, I am actually looking forward for the new film, which is entitled Cult of Chucky. I'm really happy Jennifer is back too, because this is going to be fucking amazing. Fucking phenomenal, in my opinion. But I'd like to hear what are you guys' thoughts on the new film, like when you guys heard about it. What are your thoughts?
I'm super psyched about it. I can't wait to see it. Like, being like a fellow fan of Chucky, I can't wait to see what they come up with. I'm hoping it's as great as the rest of the franchise has been. I'm hoping that they bring, like, more horror back to it versus what they did with Seed. Not that I didn't enjoy Seed. I did enjoy Seed and the comedic elements to it, but I do want to see, like, more, like, jump scares, if you will. More
you want to see more horror elements.
More horror elements, more
rather than
gore,
comedy.
more blood. Yeah, more than comedy and laughs. So what are your...
Yeah, I think,
yeah, you go ahead.
Getting back to how they transitioned from Seed to Curse, I think it's because they were coming back down from the comedy aspect. They
did a good job with it. I will not lie. Like, I mean... sorry to cut you off too, Lamont, but what did you think about, like, the beginning of Curse of Chucky? Like, like fucking Chucky's new face, like his face that he should have been, like, when he first started. And then, like, when, what's her face? I think she peeled away the plastic or whatever, right?
The wax.
The wax or whatever.
Yeah, the wax. Yep.
Yeah. Like, what did you think of that scene? Because I actually loved it. I thought that was a really neat idea.
Yeah, it was an interesting twist because I thought he was, like, literally fixed up, new body and all.
Yeah, Barb peeling away the layers, exposing what he really is.
That was her name, Barb?
Yep, that was Barb. That was Nika's older sister.
Right.
Yeah, Nika was the one that was in the womb, in Sarah's womb when she was pregnant when Charles Lee Ray was alive. Charles Lee Ray is the one that's responsible for paralyzing Nika and putting her in the wheelchair.
Okay.
He explained that in
Him and that damn knife.
That's right.
Yeah, he explained that.
That's right.
See,
it's been a while for me, so these guys are refreshing my mind too, which is amazing, because I gotta watch them all again, especially now since we're getting called a Chucky, which I know that is off topic for a minute, but that's like me and Tessa here. We watched all the Alien films and Predator films because we got the new Alien movie coming out, which we will do a podcast on just Aliens, and that's going to definitely be my episode.
Also another great franchise, and Paul will be leading the episode because he is the big fan of them all.
I am definitely a big fan, and yeah. So anyway, I cannot wait for that new movie, but anyway, let's get back on topic here. Father
Frank in Curse of Chucky, when they're all sitting around the table
the priest,
eating...
right?
Yes, he was the priest. They're all sitting around the table eating chili that Nika made for dinner. And Chucky had poured rat poison
in the soup
into one of the chilies prior. And we finally figure out who it is by watching everybody at the table, like, who's eating it. Like, we're all going, who the hell's eating it? Who's eating the rat poison? Who got it? And then you get to Father Frank, and you see the sweat bead dripping down his face. And he's the only one who's sweating, and that's where you go, oh, shit. So,
his death scene, I'm just going to throw it out there right now. That car accident, amazing.
Severed off his head and blood spraying everywhere. What did you think, Lamont?
Oh, man. I'm trying to figure out how many takes it took to do that scene.
That's not right. It was a great scene, and you got the like kid who's like, oh, Father Frank was my sponsor, and he would never drink, and blah blah blah, and he's like telling the firefighters or whatever to use the jaws of life and get him out of the car, and that's when his head goes pop, pops off, blood spray everywhere. Greatness. So I thought that was great. Another part of Curse of Chucky that I liked, when Barb is sitting up in the attic, we were talking about how she was peeling apart the layers of Chucky's face and exposing his stitching and who he really was underneath. And then he comes to life and does the boo thing. and goes after her with a knife and says, "Oh, you have your mother's eyes." And it's another thing about her. They were too fucking close together. Stab. Takes out one of her fucking eyes. And you got Nika looking for Barb, and the door to the attic opens up, and you see, what was it that comes first? The eyeball or Barb coming down the stairs? The eyeball, right, Lamont?
I wanted the eyeball.
The eyeball.
Yeah, the
I think it was the eyeball.
Yeah, the eyeball bouncing down the stairs, and Nika's got that horrified look on her face, like, holy shit, what the fuck? And then Barb's body comes rolling down the stairs. And then cue the Nika screaming her head off, bloody murder, freaking out, trying to find Ian. So what did you think about that scene?
It was really good. I mean, I'm not going to say that I expected that to come, but I was definitely surprised at it.
Okay, I'm going to bring up another scene, and I want to know what your guys' thoughts were about this scene. Jill's death scene with the laptop and being electrocuted by Chucky with the bucket of water while she was...
best torture ever.
Yes,
yeah, where she
agreed.
was, like, frickin' cam calling Barb. I thought that was excellent, especially when he waited for her to look at him. And then knocked over the bucket.
Okay, so since we're talking about kills right now, I'm going to throw this out. So I know most people, when they watch a fucking film, they go for the story. Yes, I agree, story is important, but I'm also there for the kills. The gore, every bloody minute of it. So when that scene hit with the laptop, my jaw was just like, yes! Like, oh yes, fucking amazing. Do it! Just fucking fry that bitch.
Alright, I'm gonna give you the fucking amazing kill for that movie, for Curse of Chucky. The fucking amazing kill one for me was Ian. Ian getting his fucking jaw chopped off, the lower half of his jaw chopped off with the fucking axe by Chucky. Priceless. I was like, fuck yes, thank you. Thank you so much. And that also brought me back to, kind of reminded me of Dead Silence a little bit, because the lower half of their jaw was fucking missing and their tongue gone and all this other fun shit. So I thought that was fucking awesome. What did you think of that scene, Lamont? I mean, do you agree with me on that? I thought that was fucking great.
Or do you have another favorite scene?
I like that scene because you know how there is in, like, most movies, every movie has, like, that one character that you just love to hate, and when they get killed, it's so satisfying.
So are you saying that Ian's kill was your favorite?
No, my favorite scene, which is also the kill, would definitely be towards the end credits, like when the credits started rolling, when he shows up at Andy's house thinking he's getting revenge, and when he comes out of the box, Andy's already there with his shotgun loaded and ready.
Yeah, that was fucking great how they brought Andy back into it. And as a grown-up, they showed Andy grown up, and Andy knew what to expect. He's like, okay, I'm not fucking around. I see this box. I know what's in it. I'm going to be ready.
Amazing.
That was so good.
So we talked about the first Child Play. We talked about Seed of Chucky and Curse. I think we should talk a little bit about Child Play 2, 3, and Bride of Chucky, if we can even remember those movies.
I can remember a good chunk of them. Alright, which one shall we talk about? How about we talk about Bride of Chucky? How Tiffany got the doll parts from the cop in the garage. She showed up at the garage to trade the cop money for Chucky's remains, let's put it. And she uses a sharpened nail file as her murder weapon. Slits the cop's jugular, blood all over the place. You know, and then she's walking around the car, filing her nails, and then...
Like nothing ever happened.
All bloodied up, and then sucks the blood off her fingers, and reaches in, grabs Lyra, click, cool. And then cue the Rob Zombie Living Dead Girl music as she's walking out of the garage with Chucky's remains. Great song. Fitted perfect for the beginning of the movie. I thought it was cool how she used various different doll parts to stitch him back together and recreate him. I also thought her freaking trailer was really fucking cool for what it looked like on the outside versus the inside. Anyways,
yeah, it seemed like it was a lot bigger on the inside.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny how she was using a Voodoo for Dummies book to bring him back. And using and finding the Dumbula chant in the book. I thought that was kind of funny. That was kind of one of the parts where I was laughing my ass off a little bit. I'm like, really? They fucking got her using a Voodoo for Dummies book.
Amazing.
I'm like, what do they not have a freaking for Dummies book for? But I thought it was great.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. They actually do have a for Dummies book for sex and all that other shit, which is ironic. They actually have sex for Dummies book.
They do.
Yes, they do.
Fucking hilarious.
I just want to throw that out because I'm just thinking now. I'm just like, do they have one for blowjobs too? Like, I mean, like,
yep.
What the?
They have it for everything.
See, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. If you feel like a fucking dummy, you need to go find yourself a dummy book.
Yeah, if there's something you don't know how to do, we recommend that you find a For Dummies book.
Just saying.
Because apparently For Dummies has a book on everything. Alright, back to...
I want to take one for becoming a male. Wait, what? Let's keep going.
Back to Bride of Chucky. One of my scenes that I liked for that one was when Chucky took out, oh God, what was his name? Let's just say Tiffany's fuckboy in the movie. The guy that was a teacher who was playing off to be like this like morbid goth guy. Oh,
I know
God.
who you mean.
Hold on. I think I got a name. It is... Anyways, you guys keep talking while I'm looking.
Well, do you know where she's going?
Damien. Alexis Arquette played by Damien.
Like that.
Yeah, Damien. Yeah. And he's talking to Tiffany, trying to be all sexy and stuff, wearing fishnet stockings, and I'm sitting on the fucking couch like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? Seriously? And he's like, do you know what the French calls a little death, le petit morte, blah, 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 trying to get Tiffany in bed, and he gets into her bed and pulls a sheet up over him and be like, come on, Tiffany, let's die a little, and then all of a sudden, there's Chucky! Appears right next to Tiffany. And, you know, big flash of lightning, all dramatic and shit.
Yeah, Lamont, do you remember that scene? What, she's
yep.
Tiffany does her sexy little dance, handcuffs Damien to the bed, puts Chucky on top of him, sits him on top of him,
and then what happens, Lamont? Then what happens? So she put Chucky on top of him, and then what?
Yeah, she starts
his head turns all the way around, and he's like talking to him, and he rips his piercing out of his lip. Oh my God. There was just so much.
Oh, one of my favorite lines that he says to Damien before he rips out the lip ring and says, it's not the size that counts, asshole, it's what you do with it. And then rips out the frickin' lip ring, blood spraying all over the place, Chucky doing his fucking infamous fucking laugh. And takes a pillow, puts it on his head, sits on the pillow and starts talking to Tiffany, like, where the fuck did you find this guy? And all of it, and you fucking have Damien in the background flailing his arms, screaming, like, muffled screaming and shit.
Yeah. That was almost like a comedy thing, too.
It was kind of comedic, but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. Yeah, like I said.
But But then again, like, yeah, I mean, who wouldn't fucking freak out if they just got their whip ring ripped out of their... Like, I mean, it's normal.
Well, I'm sorry, but Damien had it coming. As soon as he insulted Chucky in front of Tiffany, saying, you know, she after she does her little "you watch me, both of you" thing, and she starts dancing for him, and she tells the story of how she met
Damien,
Chucky, and how Chucky ended up in the doll, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Damien goes something like, "Well, come on, baby. He's not big enough to handle you," or whatever, and that's where he comes in with it. "It's not the size that counts, asshole. It's what you do with it." Blah blah blah.
Which I bet you anything, you two will agree with me on this. But it's just like in almost every of his films where if Chucky's not messing with them, they need to keep their fucking mouth shut. Because once they say something rude about Chucky, oh God. All hell is gonna fall upon you, and you're gonna die. Okay, let's
fast forward ahead. How about the kill scene in the van where... Well, not the kill scene. It's the scene where someone should have died. With... what was it? Tiffany put the nails up on the dashboard and rigged the dashboard to be like a nail gun. And shot... Oh shit! What's his name?
Walter. Was it Walter?
I think it was Walter. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Walter who got the nails to the face. Anyways, she's like, "That's the work of a true homicidal genius," and Chucky was like, you know, something like clever or whatever. He's like, I prefer, you know, classic, you know, knife or whatever. And it was Chief Warren Kincaid was the one that got the nails to the face. So I believe you were right. David died most brutally as well, walking out on the highway.
Oh, that damn truck.
In front of the damn truck. Guts splattered all over the front of the truck. You can't even identify the body. There's nothing left but, like, guts and sludge. I thought that was pretty fucking brutal. Oh, I must talk about this scene. The two little honeymooning thieves in the hotel room with the waterbed, with Tiffany with the champagne bottle in the mirror above the bed. That was definitely my favorite kill of the entire movie, was watching those two be sliced to ribbons by broken glass on the waterbed and the waterbed exploding and blood and water going everywhere.
Amazing.
It was great. What did you think about that scene, Lamont?
I was happy they got killed.
Yeah, they definitely deserved it.
It was definitely great. Frickin' thieves. They had it coming.
Yeah.
Oh, how about how Chucky proposed to Tiffany? I thought that was pretty great.
Oh, when you bit the ring off the dead finger?
Yeah.
Yes.
Kneeling on the floor of, like, water, like bloody water.
The bloody water of their murder that they just committed. Yeah, amazing.
Oh my god, the funny part. You know, when frickin' Tiffany asked Chucky, "Hey, have you got a rubber?" And Chucky's like, "Tiff, look at me, I'm all rubber." I fucking died.
Hey, going by the end of that movie, apparently that didn't work out too well.
Yeah, no. we officially found out how Glenn, aka Glenda, was conceived, was in that movie. But it was great. I thought it was great. It was pretty fucking funny. Oh, the fucking Martha Stewart references in the camper with Tiffany, where they're talking about washing, you know, least you could do is wash a dish. You bake for him, cook for him. At least you could do is wash the dishes or whatever. Where Jesse and, oh God, what was her name? Jesse's girlfriend turned them trying to turn Chucky and Tiff against each other by using Martha Stewart references, and he's like, and Chucky turns around and goes, "What would Martha Stewart say?" And Tiffany turns around and says, "Martha She's like, fuck Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart can kiss my shiny plastic butt.
Shiny plastic.
Yeah, I fucking was dying. I was like laughing.
Amazing.
I thought it was so great. And she's like chucking plates and shit at Chucky while he's trying to drive and shit. I thought it was great.
So since we're talking about interesting moments, how about you guys need to help me with this one. It's either Bride of Chucky or Seed of Chucky, where Chucky needs to put his seed in the woman. So he has to go into the bathroom with the Naughty magazine.
Oh,
and he's
that would
jerking
be
it.
that would be
Chucky.
Seed of
Seed of
Chucky,
Chucky.
and that's where the paparazzi snapping pictures going, "Hey, little man, get it," you know.
Yeah,
And he's talking
because somebody's
to Tiffany, like
watching Chucky or sees his shadow in the bathroom, like jerking it. And
He's looking at Fangoria magazine.
looking at Fangoria magazine, and somebody's watching. I remember somebody like sees his fucking shadow in the window, like, what the fuck is that? And then who was the girl then that he was trying to impregnate?
Jennifer Tilly's character.
Jennifer Tilly's character? Okay.
Yeah, she was actually playing as herself in the movie.
Yeah, okay.
Jennifer Tilly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while for me. But yeah, I definitely remember that part, though.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah. Which, sad news,
Yeah.
guys. I'm going to throw this out real quick. I don't know if you heard or not, but sad news for Fangoria fans. They are it seems like they're going to be no longer doing physical copies of their magazine due to the fact that because of the internet, where you can just go to, like, we'll just say Bloody Disgusting, which is one of my favorite sites for news, don't get me wrong. But I love Fangoria too, because they've how do I want to explain it? They've wrote articles about movies that I've actually bought because of their magazine. Like Martyrs is a great French film. I can't even express enough how amazing that film is, even though it didn't really get the reputation I believed it really deserved because of how amazing the practical effects really were. It was just such a great film. And then you got Cold Prey, another amazing foreign film that is now going to be ruined by the U.S. because WWE fucking studios is going to be making a remake or a fucking spin-off off Cold Prey, and that just makes me sad. But anyway, I'm sorry for the off topic for a minute, but I just wanted to share that Fangoria fans, we are not going to have a physical copy of the magazine anymore.
No more issues.
I just wanted to throw that out there. It's so horrible.
It's a travesty.
It is so horrible. Anyway, we'll keep going with Child Play, or whatever we're on.
Yeah, back to the Chucky franchise.
This is going to be our longest podcast ever, which is amazing.
But
there's so many great movies of Chucky. Chucky is amazing, too. So.
All right, we're going to go to Child's Play 2. I'm going to start it off by talking about one of mine and Paul's favorite kill scenes of this entire movie. The teacher in the classroom.
All right, here we go.
The teacher in the classroom takes takes Chucky away from Andy and puts him in the closet and locks him up and tells Andy, head down, detention, whatever you want to freaking call it. Goes to leave the room, comes back, Andy's gone. Door handle's rattling. She assumes, Andy's in the closet. Oh, Andy, you come out of there right now. Goes and unlocks the closet, goes in looking for Andy, and, what was it? Chucky comes, bursting out of, coats or whatever with a ruler.
And starts beating him.
Whips her. She goes flying backwards, and then he starts beating the hell out of her with the freaking yardstick looking thing. Blood going all over the place. Just all you can see is the ruler in the background with the window just going whack, whack, whack. Don't even see her face. You just see the motions. And I thought that was like one of my favorite kill scenes for Child's Play too. What did you think of that scene, Lamont?
Or do you have any?
It was
favorite?
a jump scare for me when I first seen it.
Yeah, it was a pretty
Because,
good
I mean, you
jump scene.
obviously knew he was in there, but the way he just jumped out and attacked was unexpected, especially with that pump.
Yeah, I thought it was really great too. What were some of your other favorite scenes from Child's Play 2? Can you recollect any?
Oh, I loved it all because putting this out there, Child's Play 2 is my favorite of them all.
So you like Child Play 2 out of the whole Chucky series?
Yeah, that's your favorite. Can you tell us what made it your favorite?
Yeah, why is it your favorite?
Because of the way it transitioned from the first one, when it's like, alright, Andy and his mom Karen went through all of this with Chucky, and then we find out that he's in foster care now. And it was interesting because it's like,
I'm trying to
even
remember
after
what
all that
happened to
happened-
Andy's mother. Not to interrupt you, but I'm trying to remember what happened to Karen. What did she end up in, like
she
a
went to
mental
an
asylum?
Yep, mental asylum.
They checked her into a
Because
mental asylum.
Yep, everyone thought she was still lying about this damn doll.
Okay, carry on with what you were saying. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It was interesting how they transitioned to that, and then even after the events of this one happening, he's going through the same trials and tribulations with this doll, and then it's like no one ever seems to believe him. It's just like history just keeps repeating itself every time. And it's the same boy who had the same story. People around him are dying, and he's saying it's this doll, and no one ever catches on. Except the one girl, the other foster girl that was living with him. I think her name was Kyle, I believe.
That sounds right.
I think
that sounds right.
I think that was her name.
What was the
Like
name?
Kyle.
The only one.
Yeah, Kyle. Kyle was her
The
name.
only one in the movie that believed anything. And that was maybe because she's seen it for herself when she was chasing them in the back of the newspaper truck or whatever.
Yeah, and then he tried to take her hostage in the car and
Yeah.
take her hostage. What was it? Was it at gunpoint or was it at knife point? I'm trying to remember what he had.
I think it was the knife. He was on her back, and he had the knife to her back, but it was pretty much making her say, like, telling her what to say and what to do so nobody would catch on.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny how when she got pulled over by the cop, the doll sitting in the passenger seat when the cop approaches.
Yeah.
And Chucky starts bleeding out the nose or whatever, and the cop looks at the doll funny, and she goes something like, "You ever seen the doll that pees? This one bleeds."
Something like that,
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
something
just
like
had
that.
the face on like, what the hell?
Yep. But yeah, there is a real doll though that can pee or some shit.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
doll that pees
Oh, yeah.
when you
Yeah.
give it a bottle or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Freaking,
Wetsy-
what are they gonna think
Susie
of next?
Wetsy or
Like,
something,
what the
I don't
hell?
know, something like that.
Let's teach little girls about motherhood.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What was the foster mother's name in Child's Play 2? Anyways, you guys carry on. I'm gonna check this real quick.
Well, I'm actually listening to you because it's been a while since I've actually watched these films. So you guys are kind of like refreshing my memory because, I mean, like I just told you, hon, I need to sit down and really watch them all.
Like I said, like we need to have like one weekend where we just binge watch like old classic horror movies like Nightmare on Elm Street and Child's Play and Friday the 13th. Yeah,
Which
just need
we
to have a
will
weekend where we
be,
do
like,
that.
one of these nights, depending on who we even have for special guests, if we even have them.
Oh, there we go.
But who is it?
Joanne, the foster mother, Joanne, how she dies.
There it is.
How she
There
was
it is.
found.
Yep, there it is. Yep.
Is that what you were waiting for? How she died? She got strangled and her throat slit by Chucky. And she was found sitting in front of her sewing machine while her sewing machine is going. And who discovers her? Kyle. And that's where Kyle has the first interaction with Chucky. I believe, right? Am I right?
Yeah, it should be around that point for sure.
Yeah, and I thought that was a pretty interesting discovery scene. I kind of had a feeling with how Phil was gonna die, who's the foster dad. Because when...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you kind of had a feeling of how he was gonna die and that he was gonna die because just the way that they were, the events leading up to it. How he got tripped by a cane on the stairs and he fell down the stairs and broke his neck. I think he got the least, like, brutal murder, I think, out of all of them.
Yeah, he definitely did.
What did you think of the scene? Yeah, go ahead. You were saying you definitely think he got it.
My favorite out of that entire movie, though, would have to be the ending when they went to the good guy factory.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Where Chucky,
I do remember
where
that
Chucky
part.
gets it in the machine.
Yes.
Melted plastic arms and legs and everything being stuck everywhere. That was great. And how they took the hose and filled him up with air and he exploded and went everywhere. That was pretty great.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I do like how they tied together like his remains
From the first one, right?
No, his remains at the end of Child's Play 2 being remade in the beginning of Child's Play 3, being like thrown into the plastic vat and him being remade over, reborn, essentially. I liked how they did that.
Yeah, I definitely need to rewatch this. So sad.
Yeah, well, maybe after the podcast we can go on with the rest of the Chucky franchise since we already started it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind rewatching him again anyways. Like I said, Chucky's one of my favorites.
Yeah, can I honestly, to be honest, I really don't even remember Child's Play 3. I'm just going to let you guys talk this one out. That's
Child's Play 3 is where Andy Barkley is more of a teenager now, and he's sent to, like, a military boarding school. And, he gets stuck with, like, this douchebag, his bunkmate's actually not that bad, but he has like a douchebag superior that's like, oh, I want you to... His commanding officer. I want you to, shine my shoes and press my outfit, be my little bitch boy type of deal. And yeah, exactly. That guy was a douche. Did not like him. But what was one of your favorite kill scenes from Child's Play 3? Can you think of any, Lamont?
When it was supposed to be a training exercise with paintballs, but Chucky replaced all the paint with actual live rounds.
That was great. That was a bloodbath. I remember that scene where he's unloading all of the guns and taking out all the paint rounds and putting in live rounds and
clean up on aisle 9. Clean up on aisle 9. Yeah, that was definitely a bloodbath. But yeah, is there anything else for to talk about now? Like, Lamont, was there anything that you wrote down that we didn't go over that you wanted to discuss, maybe?
No, that was pretty much everything right there in my notes.
We'll go back to Child's Play 3 in a minute, but another one of the scenes that Paul liked in the first Child's Play is where the old people are in the elevator with Chucky. And Chucky's just, sitting there in the corner, and the old lady's just looking at the doll, looking at Chucky, and just keeps staring at it, and the old man's just like, leave it, it's probably some kid's toy, they'll come back for it. And they get out of the elevator, and the lady goes, what an ugly doll. And then you hear Chucky go, fuck you. That was another one of Paul's like favorite lines from the first Child's Play.
The gun jam scene too. I don't know if we discussed that, but
No,
I'm
we
gonna
haven't.
throw it out there.
We haven't discussed it yet. Would you like to take that over, babe?
Yeah, I'll take it over for a minute. I actually like the gun jam scene when Karen, from the first film, so that way we know where we're talking about here. In the first film, when Karen gets the gun and starts shooting, or want to shoot Chucky, one or the other.
She gets off a couple of
She
rounds.
does, okay, yeah, that's right. And then finally her gun jammed. And then Chucky says like a smart-ass remark like, "What's the matter? Gun jam?" And then in that like 3-second like shot, oh, excuse me, just that Chucky runs at Karen, like that face that he just makes is fucking priceless. I'm sorry, but that is so fucking priceless. It is amazing how they captured it too. Like that is one of my favorite shots. Lamont, you know what scene? You know that part, right? Is that one? Like, did you like the way they shot that?
Yeah, that was very well done.
Okay, how about we talk about the scene where Chucky comes down the fireplace after Andy and kicks out the fireplace grate. I thought when he came down the chimney, it kind of looked really, and Paul agrees on this, and he also said that it kind of looked puppetish. Like, they could have done that scene a little bit better. Maybe just use some CGI really or something, but you could really tell that it was a puppet. It's a puppet,
yeah. Like, I mean, I just really, like, okay, he dropped down like Santa Claus to begin with, and then he kicked the freaking gate open, which clearly you can tell he's a puppet. I just wish that they just use some CGI, like he's like an angry face because he just fell down and he just kicked it like, yeah, like I'm here, bitch, like I'm gonna fucking rattle your world.
It's like I'm gonna kick in your fucking door. I'm here.
Yeah, instead you just get this happy-go-lucky puppet that falls down the chimney and just kicks it open like, I'm here. That's just really the only complaint I have. I just wish they just did like a CGI moment there where he just had like that angry face. But that's really all I wanted to talk about.
Okay, how about the scene in Child's Play 1 where the Detective Norris's partner finds the scattered remains of Chucky in the hallway, picks up the head, brings the head in the room, and sets it up on top of the TV. And he's like, I don't see how this thing could be alive, smacking it and everything. I mean, look at it, you know, how can this be alive? And then all of a sudden, jump scare, the torso comes popping through the vent and starts strangling the detective's partner. And all you can hear is Chucky go, kill them all, kill him, strangle him, choke him, kill him, blah, blah, blah. And I thought that was an interesting part, too. It was a little bit of a jump scare. It's not as quite as good as the jump scare in the second Child's Play with the teacher in the ruler. In the closet with the ruler.
But, once again, that falls back to the whole... So he's actually seen the doll when he just didn't believe it, and now he saw it, and he even says himself, I believe you now, but who's gonna believe me?
Okay, one of the scenes I want to talk about in Child's Play 3 is, the barber sergeant dude, Sergeant Botanist or whatever, the barber guy who shaves everybody's head and, you know, gets Chucky in the chair to get ready to give him a haircut or whatever and goes to, you know, I'm gonna, you know, shave your head or whatever. And I'm trying to remember that scene. Lamont, do you remember that scene a little bit? It was a pretty good scene.
No, my memory is fuzzy on that one.
Yeah, I think we need to rewatch the rest of the Child's Plays. But I just remember, like, the barber guy talking to Chucky and be like, oh, I'm going to give you a haircut, and then he comes to life and pretty sure he slits his jugular with a straight razor. I'm pretty sure. How Whitehurst sacrificed himself when Chucky tossed a live grenade into the crowd, and Whitehurst runs and jumps on top of the grenade and sacrifices himself for everybody. That was one of the, people I actually felt bad for that died. But I thought it was pretty noble that he was willing to, throw himself on top of a live grenade to save, everybody. Child's Play 3 wasn't really...
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Child's Play 3 really isn't as... I guess it's one that it's not really as memorable to me as the rest. But
yeah, I feel Child's Play 3 was one of the weaker films, to be honest, because I think they were trying too hard to make a good story.
Yeah, I mean, Chucky got half of his face, chopped off by the horror ride in the end of that movie. And he's standing there on top of, a fake volcano thingy. And he gets, knocked down by, what was it? I think Andy and Tyler or whatever. And on top of a fan, and he gets chopped into little pieces or whatever at the end.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Okay.
Yeah, he got chopped up.
Is there anything else either of you would like to add to our podcast before we wrap
I do
this
got
up?
one more thing, because me and Lamont were actually kind of talking about it before the podcast, and I know, Lamont, we and you can talk about it for a couple more minutes, because we are over an hour and 20 minutes now, and so this is right now our longest podcast. So if you are still listening to us, I appreciate your support. I think everybody here can say thank you for listening to us for our longest podcast ever at the moment, with Tessa being the host. I think she did a great job. She was actually kind of nervous doing this. She didn't want to fuck everything up. And I told her, look, just go in there, be yourself. I just know that once you just introduce us, you'll be good. But anyway, the last thing I want to talk about is games. Since we are everything horror, so we're talking everything. Games, films, books, whatever. That kind of reminded me, babe, do me a favor. I want you to look up on Amazon. Is there even any, Child Play or Chucky books even? I'm actually kind of curious. I actually never thought of this until now. Lamont, do you know, is there any, Chucky books at all? I know there's absolutely no games, and I bet you anything you would agree with. Maybe there might be. But do you know, is there any Child Play or Chucky games?
No, I don't believe there's any. And if there is, I've never heard of them.
I'm same. I mean, I don't know if there really is a game or not. I don't even know if there's even books. Which, do we have a winner? It doesn't even look like it.
It doesn't appear that they
It
even
does not
did Child's
seem to
Play
even
no
have
book.
any
It
books
just
on
appears
there.
to be a movie only.
Damn, just movies. That's really interesting, because most films are usually books. And in which case, I will say right now, books are usually 10 times better than movies. So, because I understand movies, they usually run for an hour and a half, 2 hours. But, I mean, come on. I mean, for a horror film, you should at least run it for 2 hours, just because if I were to read the book and then watch the film, or even watch the film and then go to the book, I'm going to notice all your fucking important stuff that you would have taken out.
No, they don't have any Child's Play or Chucky video games, but they do happen to have, skins for, consoles. Yeah.
Okay. So,
pop
if anybody
figures and stuff
even
like that.
listen to this, we need to, put up a petition up and just, request a Chucky game. Because with the right studio, I think they could actually really do well with a Chucky game.
Because, look what they're working on with Jason Voorhees.
I'm trying to remember. Gun Media Studios, I think, is the studio that's going with Friday the 13th. And I know we're talking about Chucky, but I know I even mentioned this, I think, in the first podcast, babe. You can
yes, you did.
Well, I kind of didn't go into detail because I wanted to wait for an episode for just Friday the 13th, but I do want to say one quick thing, which is this. So now that the Friday the 13th reboot is canceled, within 24 hours of saying, oh, we're going to be casting the Jason Voorhees father, and then 24 hours later we hear it got canned. So what I wanted to say now is, the people at Gun Media, they really need to make this game, like, top-notch. They need to not to fuck it up. Because if they fuck this up, I have a really bad feeling it's going to end up like Silent Hill. It's going to die. And then we're not going to ever hear of it again. What are your thoughts on this, Lamont? Like, you probably heard about that. I mean, I don't know if you're interested in Friday the 13th, but, I mean, what are your thoughts? Like, if they made a game, or if they were making a game and a movie got canceled, will you agree that they better make the game, like, top-notch?
Oh, yeah, they have to, especially to make up for, cancellation and stuff, because there's a lot of pissed off fans out there.
But you would agree that, like, they should not fuck it up in order to revive the series. Kind of like what happened with Sega with Aliens, right? Did you even play those games at all?
I didn't play Isolation.
Wow.
Yet.
Well, okay, yet. Alright, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Well, everybody, that just about wraps things up. I'm your host for this podcast episode for Child's Play. My name is Tessa Baker.
And I'm Paul Dolsky.
And our special guest,
Lamont Derrickson.
And Lamont, tell us once again where we can find you, buddy, if people wanted to follow you or subscribe to you.
Twitch is Lightspeedsonic, and my YouTube is also Lightspeedsonic. They can also message you guys or whatever for links and whatnot if they have trouble finding.
Definitely, yeah. I'll definitely put your links up in the description of this podcast so people can find you too.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thank you, Lamont, for taking your time with us for this almost hour and a half podcast, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us, Lamont. We hope you
No
had
problem.
fun.
Anytime at all.
And we'll definitely have to do another episode with you at some point in the near future, maybe when the new Cult of Chucky movie comes out. We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll have to definitely talk about it, what our thoughts were and stuff.
Watch it at the same time.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you to our viewers for listening, and stay scary.
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch, you fucking slut! Did you fuck with me?